First one on page 143, you have unemployment and inflation rate in these particular countries, and you have gross domestic product in the trillions and the inflation rate in percents. Okay, so guess where we're going? Decimals. All right. So let's see how we do with this. 17.9. This is in trillions, and then 1.5% in percents. 2.6. Hey, bud.
Hey.
See you, brother.
Good to see you too.
We're on page 143, okay? All right. 11.0. 3.1. 4.1. And 0.1. And 3.4. And stirrup size aren't mine.
Where's Cooper?
7.7. 2.4. And 2.3. Oops. 2.1. And 4.5. 4.8. What did I do? Oops.
No, I got you on.
Are you going there, Coco? Coco, you gonna go there?
We're talking about William McDavid. William McDavid, he just committed there for trying to go.
Yeah, he did. I was talking to him about that the other night.
Oh, wow. He is. Stories. Oh, I know. She texted me.
Hey, good to see you, brother. And you as well, brother.
If my mom doesn't have two stories, she probably doesn't like it. She responds to everyone. I'm like, I guess my mom's working out with her.
We did a lot of stuff.
Guest?
So, my
What happened in fantasy this week? Oh, yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with John. I knew I was
There is way too much data here.
I don't think I know. Skylar!
That's what that was from. Not great.
Like, what is this?
Watch it, I'm recording right next to you.
Oh, sorry.
All right, finally got all the data in there. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw!
See you next time. Bye. Back in time.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so looking at the data up there, positive or negative correlation? What do you think, positive or negative? It's negative, so we're going to go down. Looks like we do have some outliers. So still looks pretty negative. We do have some outliers, so we're going to go y1 tilde mx1 plus b. Make sure you put the plus b. Some of you are forgetting to put that. So the correlation here, we have negative 0.24. Interpret the correlation in this context of this problem. We have a weak negative correlation. Okay, why is that? Well, it's closer to 0 than it is to -1. So Find the regression equation line. So you have y equals negative 0.065x plus 3.08. And then it says, predict the GDP with 5.5 trillion, show the calculation. So that means I'm going to take my slope, which is 0.065. Oops, it's negative, I'm sorry. Negative 0.065. And then we're going to multiply that by 5.5. And then we're going to go plus 3.08. So that gives me 2.75. So what we can do is we can plug that in on another table and take a look at where this fits. So this would be purple. So I'm going to plug 5.5 in and 2.72. So that falls exactly on the line, which it should, because we use the line to make a prediction. Okay? So predict the inflation of a country with 5.5 trillion gross domestic product. So they have showing an inflation rate of 2.72. Okay, do we trust the prediction made by this model? This can go two ways. Yes, we can trust it because it's interpolation, but our R value is pretty cruddy. It's negative 2.4. Okay, being our R value is pretty cruddy, I would say we definitely want more data to try and support this information. But it is interpolation, so that is good. It's within our data. There's data to the left, there's data to the right. That's what we want. Find and interpret the slope of the regression line. All right, so the slope is negative 0.065. So that means the inflation rate drops 0.065 for every $1 trillion in gross domestic. All right, and yeah, in each gross domestic product. And then find and interpret the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to be 3.08. So 3.08 is the inflation rate if we have 0% gross domestic product. And then I think the back is going to continue with this. No. But just realize that the y-intercept is extrapolation. It's outside of our data. We shouldn't trust it. All right, page 144. A study of the Intermap research group collected data to look at the relationship between cholesterol level and systolic blood pressure. The resulting finding was low order positive relation existed. Okay. Low order. And then it says that means that it's weak. It is a weak relationship. And it was a positive, so it had a positive slope, so a positive weak. So this would be something like this. Yeah, it's all over the place. That's pretty weak. Assuming the following regression emerged from the study, so they gave us the y hat equals 71.1, so they realized they have this one backwards. So they have it was y hat equals 71.3 plus 0.065x. I'm rounding to 2 decimal places. Okay. So y hat is the systolic, so that's the blood pressure, and then the x value is our cholesterol level. Okay, predict the cholesterol level of Mr. Robinson, who has a cholesterol of 206. Yowzers. All right. Huh? Cholesterol leads to something called plaque in your veins. Plaque is the exact same plaque that is on the back of your teeth that your dentist scrapes off. But you get that in your arteries and your veins. You don't. But
Much
The-
people have it.
The moment your heart started beating in your mama's womb, the moment, it's like talking to my wife, didn't listen to me. So Ryan, your very first heartbeat at about 6 weeks into fertilization, when your mama's womb,
Yeah.
your body started pumping cholesterol into your system.
Oh, that's cool.
So we all have it. There are definitely
You know, it didn't happen in like 5 days, and 5 weeks and 6 days, or like 7 weeks and 4 days.
I'm just going based on what medical research has told me. All right.
Okay, Doc.
All right, Doc. All right, so I'm going to go 71.33333 plus 0.0648 86 times, and this person had 206. So this person who had a cholesterol of 206, or predict the cholesterol level of Mr. L, who had a, oh wait, that doesn't, I think we're not predicting the cholesterol, we're predicting the blood pressure. So they had a blood pressure of roughly 85. Interpret the slope in the context of this problem. So your blood pressure increases 0.06 or 0.06486 for every one increase in cholesterol. Or yeah. And then interpret the slope. We did that. Interpret the y-intercept. If you do not have a cholesterol level, you would have a systolic blood pressure of 71.333. That would be outside of our data. It shouldn't be trusted. Again, you have cholesterol the moment your heart starts beating. If your cholesterol goes down by 20 points in the next year, predict the amount your systolic blood pressure will go down. So if your cholesterol goes down 20, okay, so if I go down 20, I'm going to go negative 20 in here. So it looks like you will drop down to 70.03 roughly. And then do you feel changing your cholesterol level will directly result in changing your blood pressure? This was a weak relationship. So if it was a weak relationship, there might be some research that would suggest that dropping your cholesterol level will change your blood pressure, but more research is needed in order to verify this. And then looking over this information, what do you take away from this research? We all have cholesterol. It's going to affect our heart and our blood pressure. Okay? So I will tell you a little story. So I like to think I'm in relatively okay shape for a 52-year-old. When I was in Douglas County, I was on blood pressure medication because of the stresses that were taking place in the district, but it didn't seem like I was stressed. And basically, that when I came here, I started working harder, but didn't have the pressures of silly things that had nothing to do with kids, or not that everything I did had to do with kids, and that lowered my blood pressure. And I actually went to the doctor for my yearly physical, and he took my blood pressure. Then he had me lay down, take my blood pressure. Then he had me stand up, take my blood pressure, and then took my blood pressure on my other arm. And he said, "Have you been blacking out?" And I said, "No, sir." He goes, "Your blood pressure is so low. So moving here, Cherry Creek Schools is good for your blood pressure." According to my data, I have one. So I am no longer on blood pressure medication, which is yeehaw, great. I am on cholesterol medication because of genetics, because you got to love the genetics you were dealt with. All right, on page 145, what is the response variable? The response is weight. How many data points produced response variable are higher than the regression equation, so count everything above. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 data points up above. Look at the data with the highest level for the response. Draw a segment. So we have that one thing. This has our biggest response, has the highest residual value. Estimate the residual value. I don't know. It's like at 155 in the y direction. This is like at 120. So this is 35. If I subtract them, that's my residual. Estimate the correlation. Correlation is positive. It appears to be a weak positive. And so basically, weak positive seems that the more your weight, the taller you are. That doesn't mean that short people can't be heavier set. And is it possible for a scatter plot to exist in which every residual value is 0? Yes. So if I had a line of best fit, if every one of my points landed right on here, they could be 0. R equals 0 in this case. Okay? That's the residual. Okay? So that just means everything's right there. What might it look like? Well, it looks like that. What would the correlation be? So this is the residual. Residual is equal to 0, but my R value is equal to 1 because it's exactly there. Or it could be -1 if it went the other way. Is it possible for every residual to be positive? And the answer is no. I can't have a line of best fit that I draw that I have data points only above it. I can't have anything below. I have to have stuff below it, okay? Because the scatter plot will go through. And that, my friends, is your review. All right. So 2.7 is going to be pretty quick. And 2.7 will basically be the last thing that we do before fall break other than the quiz that we have on Thursday. All right, so I'm on page 43. So on page 43, it is just talking about residuals. So this is the observed y. Subtract the predicted y. The predicted is the line of best fit. That's all it is. So a positive residual. Oh yeah, positive residual. It's going to it. Positive residual basically means that it occurs when the predicted value of the response variable is less than the observed. Negative residual occurs when the predicted value is greater than the observed. A residual of 0 occurs when the predicted value is equal to the observed. And the residual for that specific data point is -2. The generic interpretation in that statistic is that our value of the response variable is greater than the predicted of 2. So the residual is a kind of error every single data point in the scatter plot. So the residual is a kind of error. Every single data point on the scatter plot will have a residual value. The sum of these residuals must be 0. And then showing your calculations. So here is, if this loads back up, come on, baby. Why is it not working? Can't have nice things. All right, so what the residual basically is doing is this. Let's see if I can draw something once it comes up. Yes. Okay. Close. All right. Get out of there. I want that page. So if I had drawn in a line of best fit, come on, don't do this to me. If I have all this data in here, I have a line of best fit. Dude, go here. If I draw my line of best fit, which is here, if I were to sum up all of these vertical values here, come on. If I were to sum up all of the, if you were to add up all the red, come on, quit being prima donna on me. So some are positive, some are negative. The result would actually be 0. Trying to draw it. It doesn't like me right now. Okay, 0. But you know how you guys have asked me the r squared value? This is what the r squared value is. They actually are making a square of each of these red lines. And if I add up the r squared value is all the squares added up. Struggling. All right, now we went back to our favorite thing. All right, so we will work on this for the rest of the period. We will have a quiz on Thursday, so we'll go over this and then any other review. I probably won't teach 2.8. No, I'm not going to do 2.8. So I'll do 2.8 after we get back. So page 147. Page 147 and 148 is for next time. Deal?